nearly 20 years since the webhead it was introduced in Marvel media, 3 different actors wore the Spider-Man costume. Each generation had its own Peter Parker. Each has its own villains and their triumphs, their falls, and everything. But despite that, the actors are beloved by the fans. And for such a quite of a long time since the concept of a multiverse was shown in the Marvel Comics, a lot of fans have been wondering this specific question. What if these Spider-Men met each other? It was a question that fans were burning for years, but thankfully in 2021, that question became a reality. What's going on, everybody? My name's Nate, and on this 54th episode of the Road to Avengers Doomsday, we're taking a look at Spider-Man No Way Home, a celebration of Spider-Man cinematic history, a love letter to the fans, and one of the biggest movie events since Avengers Endgame. I'm really excited to break down this movie for you all and explain out my personal opinions and also why I think it is one of my favorite Spider-Man / Marvel films of all time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as I take you deep dive into Spider-Man No Way Home. So following the shocking ending of the last movie, Peter Parker's life has completely turned upside down. Everyone knows he's Spider-Man. His friends are more in danger than ever. And his future is like really off the rails. Marvel and Sony had a massive challenge up their sleeve. How do you continue such a franchise after a shocking cliffhanger? The answer would be one of the most ambitious Spider-Man stories ever told on the screen, and I don't think something like this would ever be retold again in many years to come. And this, without the question, is like one of the best performances of actor Tom Holland. Bro does great acting, like how he deals with the consequences of Spider-Man's identity being leaked out. He does method acting, and I just appreciate the performance he's willing to give. He really wants to save everyone, but sometimes being Spider-Man means accepting painful sacrifices. Holland perfectly captures Peter's kindness, determination, and emotional vulnerability. And by the end of the movie, this version of Spider-Man feels like the independent hero many fans have been wanting to see for years. And I also gotta tell you the great acting from Zendaya as MJ. I do like her acting. She does really fantastic. And also Jacob Barton has Peter's best friend Ned. And these actors are really great on screen together. And I'm looking forward to seeing them again in like Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out in a couple weeks. So one of the returning Avengers from the larger MCU is Doctor Strange, with returning actor Benedict Cumberbatch. So Peter gives Strange a request: simply cast a spell so that everyone doesn't forget about Spider-Man's identity. But the spell goes entirely wrong because Peter keeps making adjustments to it. Realities begin to break apart, the multiverse opens, and suddenly visitors from other universes began arriving. This simple concept turns into movie something really big that Spider-Man fans like myself was not expecting to see. So for the first couple minutes of the movie, the movie managed to break down some of Spider-Man's iconic villains, starting off with Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. Guys, I was like in a really excited mood. I see, like, yo, it's Doc Ock, he's back. Bro looks pretty amazing from like his acting, especially this quote, "Hello, Peter." Bro can still do great acting despite his age, and I gotta appreciate he's like one of the best actors to play Doc Ock. The other actors we were happy to see returning is like Jamie Foxx as Electro, returning from the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, as well as Rufus Affez as the Lizard. Both actors are great, and also forgot to mention Thomas Hayden Church returning as Flame Marko the Sandman. Bro got more screen time, and the Sandman just evolves is like a previous involvement from like he got more of a Sandman version himself than like in Spider-Man 3. And let's not forget actor William Dafoe, who returns as Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. Bro was like seeing him back on the big screen was like a love letter to the fans, including myself. And fun fact, William Dafoe only agreed to return this movie if he could do his own stunts and not wear that Green Goblin mask again, because he probably didn't like it. But bro does great acting in the stunt work, especially the dual personality he has for as Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. He does. I just gotta appreciate the apartment fight that Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and him, and also him fighting. It's just really great. Props to the stunt choreography, and William Dafoe should have won an Emmy for his acting. Bro is just a great villain actor. And then comes one of the movie's most heartbreaking scenes of what happened to Aunt May. So Aunt May, is once again played by Marissa Tomei. And during one of the fights, she is mortally injured and she unfortunately passes away in Spider-Man's arms. And beforehand, she said she tells the words Peter that every Spider-Man fan knows: with great power comes great responsibility. And that moment really defines Peter forever. It becomes a defining tragedy that shapes him to the Spider-Man he was always wanting to become. And now, before the final battle, audiences around the world have been wanting to see this for a while, because during a scene, we actually got a return of one of my favorite Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. Guys, I was so blown away when I saw Andrew on the screen. I'm like, yes, Andrew! It was really a lot of fans screaming. And also the return of Tobey Maguire. These are not just some cameos. These they appear part of the story. And I was really happy to see these Spider-Man back. Seeing 3 different generations of Spider-Man back on the big screen is just really fantastic for the fans, especially for myself, since I am a huge Spider-Man fan. It's just pretty fantastic. And I do like the final battle of the Statue of Liberty, seeing these different Spider-Man fight their villains. It's just like a Spider-Verse concept that is just so great to see, in my opinion. And then we reach the ending. To save the universe, Peter asks Doctor Strange to erase everyone's memory of him. Not just as Spider-Man, but Peter Parker himself. Everyone on Earth forgets him. The Avengers, his friends, and everyone else. And for the first time, Peter's completely alone. It's pretty heartbreaking, in my opinion. Just imagine, one day everyone in the world forgets about you. It's just shocking. I really do feel bad for Peter Parker. I just want to comfort him, hey man, we're all here for you. But even though the ending was heartbreaking, it's also the perfect ending for a more classic version of Spider-Man. And I do appreciate the direction that John Watts put for the movie. And it really pulled off really well the way he did. And I enjoy the movie so much. The movie never loses sight of Peter Parker's emotional story, and that's what makes the movie work. And now to wrap up my final thoughts on the movie. Personally, I absolutely love Spider-Man No Way Home. Not only is it one of my favorite superhero movies, but it's one of my favorite Marvel movies past Endgame. The acting, the stunts and choreography are amazing. I was blown away in tears after seeing this movie. And it's exactly what fans, including myself, wanted to see. And when talking about the road to Avengers Doomsday, No Way Home is one of the most important chapters. It fully embraces the multiverse. It proves that characters from different Marvel films can share the screen, and opens the door for bigger crossover events in the future. Without No Way Home, the next era of Marvel storytelling will look very different in today's standards. In conclusion, it's a great smart Spider-Man movie. It's a celebration of the webhead himself, a heartfelt coming-of-age story, and a love letter to longtime fans. And it's a great film to enjoy, especially if you're a huge Spider-Man fan. Bayhoo, if you enjoyed this episode of Nate Reviews, make sure you give a like, subscribe, and follow the channel below so you don't miss anything. And let me know down in the comments, who is your favorite Spider-Man? Just let me know down. It could be Andrew, Toby, or Tom, or any others. But regardless, thanks for watching. Remember, my videos are just my thoughts, movies I watch. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay safe and have a good day.